Record downpours and endless floods. Now comes the reckoning, and it's going to be painful.
A lot of people couldn't afford insurance for flooding, and now they've lost everything and they're devastated.
But could families here in York have been spared the misery?
If it was a decision made that's caused this level of devastation, then people need to be held accountable and compensation should be paid.
I'm Chris Jackson, and this is Inside Out. Just over a month ago, Storm Desmond wrought havoc across the north. And the BBC's Danny Savage was in Cumbria as the floodwaters surged into thousands of homes and businesses. And many of them were uninsured, unable to afford the premiums demanded in the wake of previous floods. And as Danny's discovered, a scheme that's promising to put that right already has its doubters.
It's absolutely horrible, you know, it's watching the inevitable happen, basically. The water rose so very quickly.
There is a risk to life.
It's a mess, it's a trauma, it's the upset, it's the fact that it goes on for months and, you know, it seems to be never ending.
And you sit there and think, I can't go through this again. It is just the most awful emotional strain. I'm going to cry.
Well, this is Warwick Road in Carlisle. This was the worst affected part of the city back in the floods of 2005. The bridge is cordoned off that it could give way. But the local residents are out. They're really worried that there'll be a repeat of what happened here 10 years ago and that all these houses which have been renovated and repaired will be flooded again.
I'm kind of thinking the worst, really.
You're worried?
Yeah, I am worried.
Will you sleep tonight?
Yeah, not here though.
Across the northwest, vital infrastructure is hammered. Well, this is a car park right in the centre of Carlisle, completely covered in water, and it's risen really quickly over the last few hours. But the real thing is over this fence here. Take a look at this. This is the West Coast main line. You can just about see the overhead gantries. And instead of railway tracks, you can't see anything. There's just flotsam and jetsam there. This line won't be open for days. Across town, water has breached the city's flood defences.
I just need to speak to this old couple. Yeah?
We've got a drain in our back garden.
Rather quickly.
Rather quickly.
Looks like swift.
I don't want you to stand out in the cold. All right.
Hello. Some people are grabbing what they can and leaving.
We're all moving out. My wife's out, my son's on his way. We're just cleaning our stuff out the house we can. Not much we can do really, just get out.
Others plan to sit it out, like Vanessa, who's caring for her elderly mum.
It's just been a bit hectic and my mum's not wanting to move at all. She didn't even want me moving the stuff up the stairs, but oh, it's right at my feet.
2005, they said it was a 100-year flood. Yeah. And it's happened again. And that was with the flood defences.
30 miles away, Sue Cashmore has retreated upstairs.
Well, here we are, repeat of 2009. Just 5 foot in water in the house at the moment, but sat up here in the dark, candlelight with my little dog. Just going to make a cup of tea because I've got my camping stove there ready. You can just see that. And fortunately, insurance. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Couches have gone, kitchen's gone, all the utilities have gone. Just hope the boiler doesn't get it because that's very expensive. All that work for the flood defences and they didn't work. Unbelievable.
Across the county, the flooding is unstoppable.
So that's your back garden, completely underwater?
Yeah, yeah. So in the house further down is probably about a metre, it's over a metre I would say.
Carlisle. Well, they've brought in these rescue boats now, and they'll be taken off the trailer, taken down the road to help people get out of their houses. And they're going to work through the night. Daylight. A flood of biblical proportions.
My grand's stuck in there. She's 94, nearly 95. And this will be the second time now that it's happened, so I just want her out.
Vanessa's mum, Florence, has finally been persuaded to leave, but not in the usual way.
So she looked that tiny when she was originally sitting in this little fridge, you know, and I said, oh, that's the fridge boat, ma'am, you know. So I think they rescued quite a few after that in the fridge boat.
Roads have been washed away. This is the A591, the main link between Ambleside and Keswick. The bridge and by the end of the weekend, questions are mounting.
We were told that it was going to be, after these defences, it was a once in a 250-year event. And here we are 10 years later, £38 million, and 10 years later, a bit of a waste of money, I think.
Are you angry, or do you...
Very angry, very angry. I feel that we've been fed a bit of false information, I think.
And in Cockermouth, Sue is still trapped upstairs.
I've had no contact with my parents, I don't know if they're all right. Phone died 6 o'clock this morning, so I've had no contact with anybody. Been talking to my neighbours through the window, but that's about it.
I was going to say there's bottles of champagne in there.
This was my Christmas stock for Christmas Day.
Where's the boat?
For days, there'll be nothing to do but clean up.
Villages have been marooned and landslides have added to the chaos created by floods which have cut main roads and railways.
Flooding is nothing new in Cumbria, but one expert thinks it's going to get worse.
If you look back to the 1960s, we've witnessed about a 30% increase in winter rainfall in my lifetime. Now, looking ahead using the climate models, by the 2050s, I can expect another 15% increase in the future, with some uncertainty. So adding that together, we can expect maybe a 45, maybe 50%